There she is. She does a very nice job. And the crowd loves it. Well-deserved round of applause. And there you have it. It's showtime. Here comes the Garfield Bulldog Band.
Now this is the customary blue in Garfield that we're used to seeing. And Garfield's wearing the red in the football game. But their school colors, when we've seen them play in the past, have been showcasing a blue uniform, and there are
I'll tell
plenty
you,
of band members in blue tonight.
that's what I was going to say. It seems like every year the band grows a little bit more. And band is a great opportunity for kids to be involved. School spirit, you learn to play an instrument, you're the hit of the party. No matter what instrument you can play, and that's something you can keep with you the rest of your life. Everyone's been to a party at some point where somebody sits down and starts playing the guitar, the piano, or the drums, or all three.
We talk about execution in football. You know, the word drill team is often used for these halftime shows. If you watch these people, how precise they are, they have worked diligently. They put in as much time as the football teams do, and they are exact in the way they put this program together. It is delightful to watch. And it's also nice tonight to see the response from the fans showing the great appreciations to the respective bands.
The playbook for the band is sometimes as complex as the playbook for the offense and the defense. If you take a good look, you'll note every person out there is marching in step at the same time. And even the Roosevelt fans, many of them appreciate what they're seeing. And the turn. Up top, where everybody can see her. And the blowing of the whistle and the clapping of the hands. Wow, look at this.
This is an event. It's not just a football game. The East LA Classic is an event.
If they had bowl games for high school football, this would be the East LA Classic Bowl. And they sound good.
Excellent. Said this in the first half about the players getting into a game and into a situation that most high school athletes never have the opportunity to be in. The same can be said for everyone in both bands. Most schools don't have this opportunity to perform in front of better than 20,000. And these young men and women do not seem to be flawed by it at all. They are 100% on their game and performing to an absolute T.
This is what you rehearse for. No matter what you do, play football, play an instrument, get into an academic decathlon, whatever it is, you play to the crowd. Everybody, I've never met anybody yet, Randy, that doesn't enjoy a round of applause for them.
And I can't understate how great the fan appreciation is for the halftime show. You just don't see that anywhere.
Well, it comes with the price of the ticket to get in. You get a free show. It's a great value.
You know, you hear about the great shows at the Liberty Bowl, the Orange Bowl, but it isn't any better than here.
I actually prefer this one. You know, it's interesting, in talking to the principals tonight, we heard earlier from Henry Ronquillo, and we also had the chance to talk with Tony Garcia, who is the fine principal from Garfield High School. NCAA Classic between Roosevelt and Garfield. And joining us upstairs right now is the principal of Garfield, Antonio Garcia. And Tony, this is a great game every year. It's got to be exciting in this part of town for you.
Yeah, it really is. It's probably one of the biggest events that takes place during the school year, both for the community and the school.
We know it's big for the kids. We know it's big for the football coaches and the fans. What about on campus? What is it like this week leading up to this Classic game?
The campus gets a little wild and a little crazy. We just finished having a big rally. We've had a lot of people come in during the week, do some interviews. A lot of visiting alumni have come by. A lot of support for the program. It's been really enthusiastic. Everyone's really up for this game.
Principals deal with a lot of things in addition to the football program. What does this game mean financially and spiritually to the school?
One of the big things is the contributions that Coca-Cola and several of our other sponsors give to the school and to the community, having done the scoreboard. And it really does mean a lot of extra funds coming in that we're able to do scholarships with, do dropout prevention programs, and a lot of extra programs, extracurricular programs for our students.
It's a real feel-good game. How far do you go back, Tony, with this game?
I'd say I started here in 1970 as a teacher, so I did that for about 10 years. And I'm now returned. This is my third year as the principal.
What message do you give to your kids and your students and the students in all of this Los Angeles area about this game and athletics and education?
I think one of the athletics is really important. One of the things that students are learning, one of the things they need to learn is to take care of themselves, take care of their bodies. All these young men are fine examples of both academic preparation and physical preparation. In life, they're going to come up with some really hard bumps that they have to get over, and I think this is good practice for them, for the community and for our school. What's really important for them to look at is what are my end goals and how am I going to learn from the situations that I participate in.
Well, Tony, you're doing a great job at Garfield. We appreciate you visiting with us. Enjoy the second half.
Thank you very much, and thank you for being here.
That is Tony Garcia from Garfield High School. We'll have more from the Classic in a moment. But first, get in the know with KLCS News. It's your only source for district news and information. Second half is coming up.
And the theme from Titanic, not a dry eye in the house. Especially the ladies, they're thinking about DiCaprio, I think. Here, it's Roosevelt by 21-15 over Garfield. An outstanding first half action personified.
This is the role-playing of the Titanic show in terms of the music and matching the choreography. This is brilliant.
I'm surprised we don't have a boat out there. We're going to check out some of the statistics from the first half. The score is obvious, 21-15 for the Rough Riders. Total offense, you look at the yardage there, Jeff, 135 yards accumulated by the Bulldogs to 71 for the Riders.
What is surprising to me as the crowd reacts to the end of the Titanic, this is when the ship sunk. You look at the numbers, and Roosevelt has been unable to pass at all. They haven't tried a whole lot, but they haven't really done much of a job of it. And Garfield has done a little bit of each. Strong on the ground. They had a couple of big pass plays, one including a touchdown to Giovanni Salas. No turnovers, but several fourth down stops and changes of possession. In terms of that, what's really shocking, look at the penalty yards. That's just one half of action. Garfield's had the ball more than Roosevelt. They're lucky to be in the game down just by 6.
That's the stat I talked to Greg Arroyo about, the 38 plays to 18 plays. But again, that is misleading because Roosevelt was getting the ball in a shortened field, and they were taking over inside the 20-yard line, and they did that on 4 occasions, 3 times actually inside the 20, once at the 22-yard line. So they didn't have the opportunity to run off a lot of plays because they played with the short field and scored quickly.
I think Garfield has to be talking right now in the locker room about the fact that we've given the ball away on down several times. We had 2 botched fake punts that did not work, and still, with all that behind us, with the first half now a memory, we're only down 6 against a football team that has won 5 out of 7 this year. I think Garfield's going to feel good coming out through the third quarter. If we get to that point.
They went back, if we do get to it. They went into the locker room with the momentum, Garfield, after the score, but this is such an elongated halftime show. It's such a spectacle for the fans. But the negative for anyone here, if there is a negative, is for the football players. And when they go in there, normally you're accustomed to a 15, maybe a 20-minute show at a major bowl, 30 minutes. But we've seen the halftime shows here run close to an hour. And that's very difficult on both sides, and especially Garfield, who had a little bit of momentum going in the locker room. They want to continue to play, and suddenly they're stalled by the long halftime program.
No question. And as an athlete, you think about trying to stay loose at halftime, and it's tough to do that because at this point, you've really cooled off, you've calmed down. It's almost like coming out and playing another football game because of the break in between. But it's something that goes with this game. It's a great show at halftime, and listen to the crowd. They love it.
And again, this is not a surprise to the players. They knew coming in it was going to be a lengthy halftime program, so they knew they were going to cool off.
Second half action is coming up. We're just a couple of minutes away from the second half kickoff. It's been a good one tonight. Roosevelt leading at the intermission 21-15. Let's take a break right now and turn you on to this. If you're having trouble with your math or English homework, and I'll tell you I did for many years, if you need a tutor fast, tune into Homework.
Double header here tonight at the East Los Angeles Classic. There was the freshman-sophomore game, and it ended up in a 20-20 tie. This one, as you can see, is Roosevelt by 21-15 at the break. Randy Roosevelt and Jeff Nathanson at Weingart Stadium. Jeff, we had a thrilling Frosh sophomore game, and these young guys normally don't get a lot of attention, and they both played very, very well. They started quickly, and they finished in a draw. It was a fun game to watch.
It was, and it was neat because the Frosh Soft game started at 4:30 Friday afternoon, and usually you don't get a lot of people to come out to that game on Friday nights, but because East LA is a big stadium, because 23,000 people were on their way, several thousand people were here for the Frosh Soft game. It was a great game. It ended in a 20-20 tie. There were several big plays at the end of the game. What an experience. Frosh Soft, you're talking about 14 and 15-year-old kids playing at a college facility in front of several thousand people. And the tie score was an indication of just how exciting that game was.
I want to thank Tony Solorzano from KLCS Television. He put together some of the top teams he feels in the city this year, the CIF City section. You know, we're going to do the finals December 11th. We'll have 2 championship games. We've had them in the past. San Pedro and El Camino were the winners last year in the respective divisions. In fact, San Pedro has won the last couple titles over the Taft Toreadors from the San Fernando Valley. And Tony has Franklin rated number 1 currently with a perfect 7-0 record. They have been outstanding. They score a lot of points. Granada Hills, number 2, they're also undefeated. Venice, number 3. Southgate, number 4. And Sylmar out of the Valley round out the top 5. The Spartans started slowly. They lost a tough game to Notre Dame High School with Sherman Oaks, but Sylmar is starting to really run. His second 5 is Crenshaw, Taft, the team that's been to the finals in the last couple of years. Toreadors always with great speed. They're 6-1 this year. Their one loss is to a very good Banning team. Locke is 8th. Van Nuys, the Wolves, with a 5-2 record he has in the top 10. And then the Belmont Sentinels. But there's some other powerhouses. Palisades is 5-2. Westchester is 5-2. El Camino Real, the Conquistadors, they are 4-2-1. And Dorsey is also outstanding, 4-2-1, and of course Banning, who is 4-3. And we thank Tony for putting that together. Those are some of the teams we may see in the Coliseum later this year.
Well, we're going to see 2 teams battle it out in the second half as the Garfield band comes off the field. The players will be out of the locker rooms in just a moment for the second half. It's 21-15 Roosevelt. Let's take a timeout on KLCS. You know, you can solve murder mysteries with taggers. You can also uncover the mystery.